Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. I'm your host, Ellie, and this is the life, weather and lifestyle news channel. Iceland's going. They don't want nobody there, Karen. No, they want everybody to go away. Leave the volcano alone. Skeletons. Yeah, the big thing is skeletons for sale. I thought I thought these type of skeletons were supposed to go to the Smithsonian or museums. Why is Sutherland's? I think it's Sutherland's. It's selling skeletons. I don't get it. Uh, you learn something new every day, and it seems like um, it gets weirder every day. There you go, or stranger. It's strange things every day. Finding new critters, stuff in the ocean, stuff on land, bugs. I could do without the bugs. And then we got yesterday's show with the what is it that's knocking on our door? Yeah. So, and UFOs again, Karen. What is this with UFOs? Everybody's all into this UFOs and um, Skinwalker Ranch. But have you seen some of the stuff that people are putting out? How much money these guys make? Yikes! They're going and they're doing seminars and conferences, and you pay thousands to see them. I just don't get it. And so they're making all kinds of money off these and books, and then you got to wonder, is this for real? I was watching one today, and I was like, huh. You know how easy it could be to Photoshop this stuff to technology today? I don't know. Anyway, um, yeah, you're gonna keep up. I'll just keep poking you. I'll throw popcorn at you. Is that baby got 2 feet yet? You know. What happens if a man decides to plan the wedding? Men are starting to want to do that now. Have you heard of their ideas? Yikes! All right, so it's hot. It's hot here. We got an advisory. I think that the Weather Channel has us till midnight, and the locals have us till 7. No, it's just going to be hot. It's not even going to cool off tonight. And boy, I'm feeling it. I called William and I said, William, you spunky? And he said, yeah. I said, oh. I said, well, I need spunky for your show. For the World War III show. So he's got some great ideas. Or not, no, I shouldn't say ideas. He has got great information today. I mean, I got some, but he blew me away. So you guys are just going to have to watch and come back and watch it about an hour or less. So uh, 4 top, 4 on the bottom. Yeah, I know she's going to be a year old Saturday. So what are you going to do for her? I say I don't know. What do you do for baby 1 year old parties are hard, folks. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'll get some balloons this weekend and do up some balloons. Show you guys how to do balloons for your kids because it's hard. I mean, babies are just 1 years old. They have no clue. They have, have no. You put a great big cake in front of them, they're like, oh, okay. And then if they don't like cake, then what? Like mine don't like ice cream. So we had cake and ice cream, and since there was ice cream on the plate, oh boy, she didn't want nothing to do with any of it. So, um, so hello to Susan. Um, that just came in. So it's hot. Um, and they're complaining about Florida. They're complaining about Texas. They were complaining about Death Valley. Death Valley's always hot. So is Vegas. It's the summertime. It is hot, and we always do 1 or 2 weeks, the beginning of July, and then towards the end of the month, you always have 1 or 2 weeks of really hot and humid. Um, and then we have a week of it's 120, 125. It's like don't go out your house. So let's get on with it because I could probably just sit and yak. Um, and my sister-in-laws did have great birthdays. yesterday. I like them too. They're twins, and I think they're some of my favorites. I had both of them are great women. All right, so Ari's up here with his mouth open, but he's going to tell you about Florida, how hot, hot, hot. I got a lot of weather today, so let's get moving.
Florida is going to be very, very hot over the next several days. Okay, now if you live in Florida or you've heard of Florida, you know that it tends to be pretty hot already down there, and it's pretty tough to get record highs in Florida. But we've got a chance at some Wednesday through Friday. Some of these highs forecast to be in the mid 90s. When you factor in the humidity, obviously this is a spot where it tends to be pretty humid. It's going to feel a lot hotter than that. It's going to feel like about 105 or so for a lot of you guys. The other thing that we have going on is there's a lot of dust around. Okay, the water's very warm, so we're not going to get much relief as far as like cool water being around and that helping temperatures a little bit. And then also just that Saharan dust makes it really tough to get showers and thunderstorms popping up. And those would, of course, kind of help the situation. But pretty hot and not much rain in the forecast.
You hear that about the Saharan dust? I heard it was coming across, and I thought it was going to hit up around Pennsylvania, D.C., New York, all the way there, but it went south and went to um, Florida. What happened to hurricane season? Hurricanes are gone. There is always a spring hurricane season. They're always like, oh, it's always this is too early. No, it's normal for a few of them, and we're just not getting them. There's one fixing to hit India, but where's our hurricane season? It runs with us. And then we have tornado season real fierce in September, and they're saying, oh, well, it's in September. No, April, March, April, May, June. Usually we start seeing a few hurricanes. Nothing. It's all quiet. Scary. I don't know if it's scary or if it's a good thing. So we have heavy rain. It keeps hitting the northeast. Um, it just band after band after band. Now everybody says, "How strange is this? This don't happen in the north." Yeah, it would about when it hit Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, and the rivers flooded. I think wasn't the Red River that flooded a few years ago. It does. If bands of rain hit. Well, just when I say that, then all of a sudden it's going to hit Arkansas too over the weekend. It's like we're soaking it up. Just keep sending it. I think we're lacking down here. So, um,
So we have yet
oh,
another round of
so
rain that's on the way.
so we got Ari again. I think he wants attention from us today. Look, his mouth's the same way. I was like, I got to show this because each time he started, the last one and this one, his mouth was in the same position, except for he said Florida. Now he's got something else. So here we go.
So we have yet another round of rain that's on the way for the Northeast. We get a little bit of a break right now, but once we get into Thursday, there's a frontal system coming in from the west. A couple of spots that we're really highlighting for flooding. Obviously, the area that dealt with the really bad flooding over the last couple of days up in the Northeast. And then another spot that's down a little bit closer to the Appalachians along the Ohio River. Now, this is going to be multiple days of rain, not all day rain, but Thursday into Friday, we'll have on and off showers and thunderstorms. Remember, the ground is very soaked, all right? I know some of the rivers have started to come down. That situation is improving, but things can change very, very quickly, especially when you've got a really soaked ground like this. And we've got this much rain in the forecast. Ludlow, Vermont, 2 to 3 inches of additional rain in the forecast. Okay, so just stay weather aware during this time period. Flooding is one of these situations that you just kind of have to monitor as it happens.
Now get this morning. When I first got up this morning, I turned on the weather because normally I do that. Arkansas got 10.1 inches of rain this morning. That was down around Monticello, I believe, real close to Monticello. Uh, so at the bottom and into the northern part of Louisiana. One city got 8 inches, the other one got 9, one got 10. There you go. It's weird rain, but we need the rain. But we don't need to be flooding. Uh, and of course, now here goes Pennsylvania. You guys going to flood down there, Karen? Because you guys got stuff coming across too. So um, uh, we could see the whole from, they're saying from DC up could be in flood stages by the time winter hits. Huh. Now, Vermont, um, they say it could take days, but they said the water's going down very quickly. So, um, maybe I should have refreshed this page, but it's earthquakes. So up there around Vermont, they said the water is going down, and they showed the river. They showed before and after pictures, and then they showed the river in between. I was like, that's the issue right there, is the river overflowing, and it did into a lot of farmlands though. Um, and the thing about it is when the rivers overflow, then they go down very quickly. And they said that's what this one is doing. So it might not be about a flood for as long as they predicted, according to the weather. That's according to the Weather Channel. So I don't know. I'm gonna blame them if I'm wrong. Isn't that what we do, Karen? We're gonna blame somebody else. I don't know. I might blame it on the state of Georgia. Yeah, Georgia's a good one to blame. So there's there's a hidden code in there somewhere, and I bet Georgia's really going to be on me for a week now. So, all right, earthquakes. Um, this is really odd. Look how quiet it is over in Japan and China, India, Turkey, all of it. Um, Italy, Iceland. Now, I said, what the heck for Iceland? Because where's all the volcanic activity? Well, come to find out, when USGS does it, I don't think they put them on their page, on this page, because on the volcanic report, it's all there. There's like hundreds a day. And well, before let's see here, right there. Um, so the eruption began Monday after thousands of earthquakes in the area. See, you know, um, and so I do have a video on this. I hope it ain't Ari. Ari with his mouth open in the same position. All right. No wonder the Weather Channel don't want me to have the weather anymore. I keep making fun of Ari. Is it Ari or Ari? I don't know. I'm gonna have to listen. All right. So here we go. So, um, see that I told you there is all kinds of earthquakes, and I finding them on their volcanic site, but not on the earthquake map. But what is very intriguing is the North Atlantic Ocean. Again, that's the one that had the 6.6. Well, it had a 5.0. Yesterday, remember, it was a 4.4. Now it's a 5.0, so it went back up. That is very active. So the islands are very, very active. And I don't, I'm going to agree with Karen. I don't think they're putting out all of the volcanoes, earthquakes that are listed. Because we got one for Puerto Rico that's only a 3. And then we had one for the Dominican Republic. That was a 3.8. And then we had one, and again with a 3.7. I think there's a lot more to it. I think they're having lots of ones and twos. Um, I don't know if I've changed this. I might have to bring up the red map tomorrow, the to see what's how many is really hitting. Um, I don't have time today to bring it up, but I'll bring it up tomorrow. And you guys are going to be just blown away by how many is even on the East Coast. And then, of course, what is active? The United States and Alaska, of all places, because there was only two down in South America, one in Chile, that was a four, and then we had one in Argentina, it was a four. But one was 4.2, one was 4.3. Then we go over to Indonesia, that was a 5.0, but then we start on the Aleutian Islands. That was a 4.0. Rat Islands. I wonder if Rat Island sent all the rats to New York. What do you think, Karen? That's what I'm thinking. Rat Island, they got sick of all the rats. It's got to be called Rat Island for that. I mean, I haven't looked in the history, but I bet you they sent them all to New York. And then we got one in Attic, Alaska. And then the most recent one that just hit, that was a 3.0. Now we got one way at the top that we've been seeing every so often. In Kaktovik, that was only a 2.9. And nothing changed today. Normally I see numbers change around, but they didn't today. They came out and they were good. Uh, so Southern Alaska, here we go with they don't know, it's somewhere around there somewhere. They ought to call it somewhere, Alaska, somewhere in Alaska. Because saying Southern Alaska, you might as well just be guessing. So that was a 3.1. Then we had one in Pedro Bay, 2.5. So Alaska is very active. Um, and let me know, email me and let me know if you live up in Alaska, if you're feeling these earthquakes. Some are very deep, some are very shallow. So it's back and forth, but your animals would definitely be feeling this. Um, and then we had one over in McCarthy, Alaska. We haven't seen one there in a while. So that was kind of strange. But then now all of a sudden we have one in Montana border region. Now I'm thinking when I zoomed it in, it looks like it's close to our silos. I'm not sure if this is a HARP thing. It's only a 2.7. Now this was Idaho, Montana border region. And then we go to Deep Springs, California. Then it was um, Cabazon, California, 2.5. Now, then it gets interesting because then we go over to Toya, Texas, which is what has recently been hit. And these are very shallow. This is a 4.0. It says 3.9, but I bet you it was about 4.0. And then right next to it in Texas, it was only a 2.6. And then we go to Oklahoma. Well, now it's going down the center fault line of the United States. So guess what? Karen and Susan, you're in for maybe a earthquake up around your area. If we point straight over to it, it's going to either be Pennsylvania or up around New York. Uh, uh, yeah, I'm predicting, but we'll just see what happens. All right, and I didn't want to spend that much time on Iceland, and I didn't want to spend that much time on earthquakes, but everybody's got to know. Um, Now, Sotheby's, I think, they're going to auction off skeleton. These are airborne and aquatic dinosaurs. So I saying, I thought this was supposed to go to the Smithsonian. These are fossilized skeleton, area predators with 20-foot wingspans. And these are basically, they are beautiful. They're intact. Look at this. Wow. And they did say that a lot of the people that are there are museums and libraries, zoos. Now, I'm hoping they'll do the smart thing and don't give it to a private collector. It just, um, you would think the Smithsonian would hold on to this stuff. They got rid of hundreds of skeletons in the 50s that they shouldn't have gotten rid of. They just threw them away. And so we need to, like I said, everything is so strange lately. Why would they sell something like this? Wow. Wow. They say to get something like this is so rare. They probably want millions of dollars for these things. They lived 190 million years ago. Um, they said the estimated auction price for a lot of this, hold on to your seats, 600,000 to 800,000. Oh boy, it's going to be interesting. I might try to find the auction itself online because I'd like to watch it and see who gets these things. I don't know. I'm just a big history buff, and it sure jerked my chain when I seen it. I was like, oh no 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 no, don't be selling that stuff. That ought to be somewhere where we can be able to enjoy it. So moving on. As William says, moving on. Yeah, we're going to move on. We're going to move on up. Not the Jeffersons, so boy, that was a good show. All right, so who's Leslie Van Houten? Anybody remember her? She was one of the Manson girls, Charles Manson. She has been paroled today after spending 52 years in prison. Now, I followed the story really well. I mean, I think I even didn't I do it on my crime stories, um, Karen? I'm not sure. I may have. I don't know if I did Charles Manson. I know I did Chase, the guy that I almost was a victim to. Um, so she's a Manson family murder, and she is going to be paroled. Now, should they have gotten life back then? I mean, California was harsh. I hope they never. I, Manson's is dead, isn't he? I mean, I should have looked this up. Isn't he dead? And it didn't say nothing in the article. Um, she was charged with two murders in 1969. Um, now, if I remember right, now Hooten, she's 72, 72 years old. I doubt if she's going to hurt anybody. But the thing is the punishment. There was a lot of people that Charles Manson killed. The Bianca family. Um, so it wasn't just, and they were creepy crawling, and then they said they found many bodies out in the desert of people they killed. So we don't know how truthful she was. Now, to me, these people, if I think a punishment of life with no parole. I know I'm seeing she's 72 and she's probably not going to do nothing, but I'm not saying the death penalty, but I think she should have just. I'm big court TV buff, and this one should have did. All of them need to stay life and with nothing, no parole. But so she gets out. Um, she was the problem. She says she came from a bad family. She was on LSD early when she was like in her early teens. But see, that's not nobody. That's not the problem of the people that they killed. This is what you have to take into account when you do jury duty, folks. Jury duty, there's a lot more to it than just getting in there and listening to the evidence. You got to think on this stuff. You can't sympathize with the one that did the killings. It's not anybody's fault but her own that she did LSD and hard drugs and maybe even heroin 14 to 16 years old. She said she denied responsibility and explained the motive. She said she worked with the prosecutors and she thought it was just to start a racial war. Remember, it was about the piggies all over the walls. Well, they didn't like cops, and that's something that grew out of that generation of hippies. And now they're all politicians in California. I hate to tell you guys that. Most of them, those hippies, and then they went to yuppies. I don't know if you guys remember the yuppies, but the hippies went to the yuppies, and then the yuppies became senators and congressmen for the state of California. Hmm. Don't tell Pelosi I said that. All right. Um, so a woman spots a strange dog. Well, a couple days ago, there was a gentleman that had a canine, a cop, and the dog got out of his backyard, and they've been looking for him. Well, then a woman spotted a strange dog after posting a picture, and she realized what was really in her yard. And she said she took her dog out, and when she came back, this dog was following her and wanted to be in her backyard. And then once she decided to post the picture, she realized it was this lost canine dog that belonged to the police department. So he was happy to get his dog back. All right. um, you know, do you want to know if the restaurant you go to is clean? It, now, we have friends that are plumbers, and they've been called to just about every restaurant in town. So they tell us, oh, don't go there. Yeah, if you've seen their back half of their kitchen, you wouldn't eat there. Is that wrong? Well, a restaurant employee in Chicago was fired. He revealed the unsanitary kitchen conditions. He was telling friends and family members, don't eat here. And of course, family and friends told other people and family and friends and so on. Well, now he lost his job. Do we want to know though, folks? Do you want to really know? Um, uh, okay. Karen says she's well versed with the Manson case, and I got to pull my thing back over, my cursor back over. Um, she should have got the death sentence. Um, she's there. Now, I know Charles Manson at one point, he was in a prison real close to where my family was living. Um, so, yeah, they moved. I don't think they have, whatever happened to, is it Susan Atkins, is what I'm thinking? Did she take a pot shot at Reagan? Boy, we're conversing, William. I might not get through the show till it's time for William to come on. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to get back to the kitchens. Do you really want to know if the restaurant you go to is clean? You know, I used to not like the open kitchen of watching the cooks and all that, but you start learning maybe you should be because these kids these days don't want to do the cleaning like they should. They're on their phones. You ever notice that when you go to a restaurant? They're all standing around the back on their phones. For what? What is the point of the guy doing the dishes being on his phone or a cook? And did he wash his hands after that? After touching that phone? Who knows what's on his phone? But do we really want to know? And was it fair for this guy? And he said he filmed several cell phone videos exposing the alleged unsafe conditions at Hugo's Frog Bar and Fish House. Now, I'm gonna tell you what, fish places are hard, rough. The grease will build up quickly. Any like a chicken place. Those are probably the dirtiest places you could eat at if for fast food. Now, if it looks clean, go for it. But if you go in and you look behind the counter and it don't look like they've done much, I would turn around and leave. Don't just go through the drive-through all the time. Go in and take a look to see where your food's coming from. All right, I don't want to spend too much time on that. On this day, of course, on this day in history, uh, Abraham Lincoln signed the U.S. Army Medal of Honor. This was in 1862. So the Army Medal of Honor was basically Abraham Lincoln signed the bill creating this Medal of Honor. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, UFOs again, really? So now we have Tim Burchett, who sits on the House Oversight Committee, is involved with UFO hearings, and he was shown classified footage. Now it hasn't been released to the public, nor may they. I don't know if they are going to. He's a Republican out of Tennessee, and he said we could have technology that humanity can't handle. He says maybe they're right. Maybe they never should have released UFO files. That he doesn't even think the people in the United States or the world could handle what they were looking at. And he said extraterrestrial life forms. So, or is it true? Or do they have the bodies? Did he see bodies? They only give you a little bit, and then everybody in the media goes crazy, twisted, strange, and then we don't know what's true and what's not. Just show us, just show it to us. Show us the let us be freaky or let us handle it. UFOs again, really? They just won't let this die. All right, regulators. Um, Door issues on some escape models. This is a big old recall, and they didn't. It was the National Highway and Traffic Safety Administration that made them do this. This is the escape SUVs from 20 and 21. Um, these are, I guess, Fords, and they say there's a good possibility of a failure of the doors. Um, Folks, if you got them, go get them looked at, please, because it's all doors. It's not it's not just the drivers, or it's all the doors. We put our babies in the back. If you got an Escape SUV 2020 or 2021, get in and get it checked out. All right. So, I'm doing pretty good for timing. All right. So, remember I mentioned what happens, what men are starting to want to do wedding plans. And, so I found a site today and they started listing, and it's pretty much the same as my joke site. And I compared it, and it was like almost, I don't know if the men these days have looked at these jokes and they decided this is what they're going to do. But more and more, I'm hearing about men wanting to plan weddings and the brides just in tears, almost calling off the weddings. Oh, no, 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 no. All right. So, what would a man do? William, close your ears because I know you wouldn't do this. There would be a rehearsal dinner kegger party, and it would last until the cops show up. Bridesmaid would wear matching blue jeans, cutoffs, and halter tops. They would have no tan lines and more skin showing than not. Tuxes could have team logos on the back. Nike shoes would have matching team colors. June weddings would be scheduled around basketball playoffs so they could show the basketball playoffs on the big screen during the wedding. Does it sound like a guy? Sounds like a jock to me. Can I say that? But that's what we called them. We called them jocks. The couple would leave the ceremony in souped up 73 Charger or some Mopar with racing tires, flame designs, and the side of or a sidecar of a Harley Davidson. Big slobbery dogs would be eligible for the role of best man. Outdoor weddings would be held during sporting events at halftime, or they could even have it at a tailgate party. The bride's dress should show cleavage and leg. Instead of a sit down dinner buffet, there would be a hog roast or buckets of chicken or pizza for everyone and plenty of barbecue. The bridal bouquet would be recycled from previous funeral, wedding. What's the difference? They said something along that lines. So there you have it, folks. That is it for the show. And come on back in about 20 minutes for me and William with the World War III report. Um, do the thumbs up and subscribe and share. Uh, share with your neighbors. Share, let your garbage guy let it know about us. The garbage men complain a lot. So, have you ever talked to them? I used to know a few, and I've talked to mine, and boy, they complain. Yeah, they complain about everything that's going on, like we do on the World War III report. So come on back. So we hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday, and get out and enjoy a movie, or how about going miniature golfing? Uh, and we got Karen's granddaughter's birthday coming up this weekend, so uh, we'll be wishing her lots of happy birthdays. All right, folks, we'll see you in a few minutes, or we'll see you tomorrow.